HIA. You've been written off, you continue to be written off, but how are you feeling ahead of this huge task, taking on the Springboks in the World Cup semi-final?
I think we're all really looking forward to it, and I think our supporters are looking forward to it, the players are looking forward to it. I hear about tens of thousands of people coming across this game in Paris. It's brilliant. We're here in Paris, the first time the England team's got here through this tournament. I think there's a special atmosphere, there's a special feeling around being in Paris ahead of this semi-final. You
will be major underdogs. Can you use that in your favour?
Well, we've concentrated very much upon us. It's what we've done every single week. How do we develop and how do we progress as a team? And I think that's the central thing. I think this team has progressed. Through each week we've had through this tournament, we've built and we've built and we've built, and whatever situation the players have found themselves in the game, is the players have found a way to get the result they want at the end of it. And we know this weekend is different. Every game is different, but I also know we've got a great group of players who care deeply about representing England and want to make sure they put in a performance they're all proud of and our supporters are proud of on Saturday night.
South Africa beat England so convincingly in the last World Cup final. How is it? Is it difficult not to subliminally think you're the better team than them, or is there something in the English psyche, the way they respond to a setback, which kind of puts you on edge?
Yeah, I think you always want to respond of the setback, and obviously, 2019 was a big one. It was a World Cup final. We know that they'll be still thinking about that, and everyone like you guys remind us of that every now and then. But like my previous answer was, it's a World Cup semi for us. It's 2 more hurdles, and this is very important to get to that last hurdle. So we'll be focused on that, and obviously we know how physical and aggressive they will come at us on Saturday. But yeah, we will go in exactly the same fashion. We'll give it to them.
Owen, 4 years on, can you use any of those memories, those scars, to motivate you this weekend?
This feels like a new challenge. This feels like a new opportunity. As you said, in 4 years, a lot happens in rugby. A lot happens in a week here. So we're excited at the opportunity that's in front of us. We feel like we've obviously changed as a team. I imagine South Africa feel like they've changed over 4 years as well. So we understand what task is in front of us, what a good team we're playing against, what a well-drilled team playing against. But we're excited to get out there on the field on Saturday.
Steve, was it helpful, Rassie lending you a hand to pick your team earlier in the week?
You've lost me. I'm sorry.
Rassie Erasmus named your team on Tuesday for you, just as a little helpful hint and tip. You didn't see that.
Did he get it right?
No.
Okay.
So can I ask?
Sorry.
Yeah. No. So can I ask you about? You've already talked about George Martin specifically. Just Joe Marler starting ahead of Ellis. Today, you've given us some indication, but just talk a little bit more about the thought behind the loose head selections.
Yeah. I think we've got 3 brilliant loose heads in here in this squad. I think Ellis has been terrific, and I thought he played really well last week. I think Joe coming back into the squad after some time away has been also an incredible influence around the group. And we've got Bevan Rod as a younger player, but I would have no hesitation in Bevan being in the 23 this weekend. So it's a real competitive position. Going back to the previous question, for me it's always about the balance of who's to start and who's to finish, and understanding that we need an 80-minute performance. That's the start's crucial, the end is vital, and we understand that. And I think I'll say our bench, the performance of our bench through this tournament has been very, very good.
What I don't understand though is why you would necessarily start with Joe ahead of Ellis this weekend. Is Joe a better scrummager? Does Ellis offer more in the final quarter, as you call it? Give us an insight into that as much as you can.
Yeah, and I think both of these players are top quality scrummagers, and I think that's really important given the strength of the South African scrum. We know that they're rated as the best scrum in the world. Every piece of information has them as the best scrum in the world. So we know that we're going to need to scrum well throughout the game. And I felt not just at the loose end, but understanding the combinations of the two sets of front row forwards that we have. I think that's also important. As I say, I thought Ellis was terrific last week. I think that Joe to start and Ellis to finish is the right combination this week.
Great, thank you.
Steve's touched on the kicking battle as well. You'll likely find yourself in the backfield alongside Johnny Elliott and Freddie returning. So how have you guys analysed South Africa's kicking threat, and how are you going to look to deal with it?
No, as Steve says, they're obviously that's been a massive weapon of theirs for years and years now. They've progressed it. They go a lot of contestable kicks, but not just off 9. They go across field quite a lot now, and they're lethal off turnover at times, going to kicks and getting the balls that are on the floor. And as you saw last week against France, scoring a good few opportunities off the back of that. So we've done our work. We've obviously come up with our plan to negate what we can from them, but also to be able to attack it ourselves.
Does Freddie returning just give you a bit more assurance in that area, given his reputation?
Well, I think the thing about Freddie is everybody knows how good he is in the air, and everybody knows what a fantastic player he is in general. But it's the want to do it, the want to be in those battles, the want to go and get the ball back for his team, the want to diffuse what's coming our way as well, and that's he's one of the best in the world at it, and that's the way I would be if I was him as well.
You derive as much pleasure beating England than say France or Italy or any other team for that matter?
I think a knockout stages of a World Cup. I don't think doesn't matter who you play against. It will bring so much happiness. I think when we beat France this weekend, everyone was so happy, and just knowing you've got another shot, you've got another week to prepare, and you're not back home. So whether it was England or Fiji, our preparation wouldn't have changed. Our desperation to win the game wouldn't have changed.
There's been, after the South Africa played France, there was a little suggestion that South Africans might have been fiddling around with the HIA system and possibly trying to rest some of their players. Have you noticed that, or have you flagged that up to World Rugby, or are you concerned about that at all?
No, we've got a match officials team that's world class, led by Ben O'Keefe. I'm sure everybody around the pitch as well will be having every bit of process in place as would be. So there's no issues there from my perspective. I'll say again, from Marcus and the situation you got there, is just reiterating. It's right to reiterate that player welfare is critical and vital to us.
Rugby pod.